this ultra race definitely needs a lot more mental training rather than just physical training, because you are out there for a really long time. You just have to be mentally prepared for that. Nutrition has to be in place. There's a lot of planning. There's like a mountain of planning before you go into the race itself. That's an ultra race. That's what it's all about. Half the war is won in the planning itself.
So it's today is the 3rd, so there's 3 days to go before events start. And tomorrow morning, the president of the Race Across America is reaching Pune. So by that time, we're hoping within the next 12 hours to wrap up a whole lot of work for printing of all the race collateral, sponsor promos, and tying up all the loose ends with officials and the vehicles that are going to be used. And yeah, the schedule is tight now.
It keeps on varying, so at times it's people picking up the call on the first go. At times, if they don't pick up, they call back right away. At times I've spent a couple of days trying to get them to say hello.
Well, we have officials and crew who are following the riders, and we keep an eye on them as much as possible. And if we find if we find them to be doing small mistakes or things, we give them warnings. But if there are major lapses or major cheating, then we do stop them from continuing further.
This will be Ram's 35th year coming up, and it's a 3,000-mile non-stop cross-country bicycle race that goes from Oceanside, California to Annapolis, Maryland. And there will be, in Ram, there are solo categories, 2, 4, and 8-person teams. Teams all race relay style. The solos are, it's just up to them. And the participation is about 350 riders for Ram, about 50, 60 solo riders, and the balance will be on the 2, 4, and 8-person teams.
So, of the 60 cyclists who are going to be racing this year, we are going to have 3 who have qualified for Ram last year and are racing again against each other, against time, trying to improve their timing. We also have a few others who are going to be giving them a good challenge. Cyclists are coming from around the country. Not just cyclists, we've got an interesting mixture of athletes from different streams also. We've got mountaineers, we've got runners who are going to be attempting this race this year.
This year I'm crewing for Apoor. The reason why I chose to crew for him was to get the experience of being in the background team and experiencing what it takes to be a soigneur basically.
Last time I almost I went off over my limit, and by the time I realized, when I reached to the base of the Kambakti Ghat, I got the realization that I spent myself a lot. all of a sudden you get slow on the mountains. But after that mountains, because it's a tough phase of the initial part of the race is very tough. If you consider those mountains, there's the only big climb considering the entire route. And when you get down from those mountains, you feel the effect of it.
Well, actually, I've been associated with DC since the first edition. I officiated in the first edition. I crewed for the winner in the second edition. So, seeing him ride, somewhere, it was like I wanted to put myself in that place and see how I do. Yeah, he was an inspiration for me.
It's definitely going to be a really fast race this year. Not just because of the training, but also because of the competition. And the planning is much more micromanaged by me and my crew as well. All the kinks have been sorted out from the last year. Whatever mistakes that I did, I'm not going to do them again this year. So I'm hoping that I cut off at least a couple of hours from my last year's time.
Just 2 months back, I was in France doing PVP, and that was one of the toughest things that I've ever done. It was 1230 kilometer race to be done in 90 hours, and I managed to do it in 86 hours. So that long duration has almost enabled me to get into the mindset of doing long distance racing again, Deccan Cliffhanger. And about this time, the changes that what I am seeing in this race is a competition. Last year, okay, there was a good competition, but this year the competition has increased a lot. There are a lot of strong riders who are coming for the race. They have trained really well.
All my training was with respect to this race, very frankly. I did some climbing at Muthatov. I wouldn't say I'm very good at climbing, but I've done Pasarani 2-3 times, and I think in my head I know that I'm not very strong at it, but I can do it.
If you compare it to any other races, shorter races for example, you can actually get away with not training a lot. You can just still complete the race though. But something like an ultra race, everything has to be in place at least a month before. You should be used to it. Nothing new should be there. So the planning, that's important in an ultra race. Competition is tough, yes, because there's a German machine in the race. That's Michael, my coach. So he is, if there's anyone out there who might probably beat me, it would be him.